Hello everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back. I know it's been a long time. I do apologise for my absence. Nothing bad has happened. I've just been really busy trying to expand my business, creating new products and things like that. And I'll be showing you one or two of them and how we make them, just in case you'd like to make them for yourself. And although I say nothing's bad, unfortunately we've had a couple of deaths in the family and one friend. So I've had a lot to deal with, but that's okay. We're back now. So as always, that's nothing new with me. I've always got something going on. So there we go. So today we're back and we are going to make, well, it's one of two things. You can either use it as a keychain, the way I'm going to show you how to do this particular one. You can either use it as a keychain or you can use it as a bag charm or a bag clip, however you want to use it. So you will need 2 pieces of card. Now, it doesn't matter what size you use because the result will be the same. So you will need 2 pieces of card cut to I'm using a circle, and you'll see why I'm using a circle as we go along. And as long as they're both cut to the same diameter, it'll be absolutely fine. And then in one of them, you will need your circle die, obviously. But inside one of them, cut one just like that, so that it's just a complete solid circle. Now, for this particular one, I wanted brown, and I didn't have any brown, so I used white card, and I've just coloured it brown with my alcohol markers, and you can do that too. But for your second circle, you will need a smaller heart to go in the centre, and you do that. I would suggest putting a piece of washi tape or low tack tape through the middle, because it rarely, if ever, stays there by itself, and run it through your machine and then pull it out. And that will leave you with, if you've not seen this done before, I'm sure you have, many of you anyway, that will leave you with a piece like that. But we're not going to use that one just yet. I'm going to pop that to one side just for a moment. It'll be back in a minute, because we also need, this is a great one to do for your scraps. So if you've got scraps, if you've got brown, you'll see as we put this together, you'll see why we're using brown. It will become clear. If you've got a pale brown or even a darker brown, doesn't matter, use it. If not, you can do what I did and use your white card and colour it with your alcohol pens. Now, you can use scrap cards to do this if you've got bits of scraps. If you're like me, you might have a drawer full of scraps. I've got 2 actually, one for coloured scraps, one for plain white scraps. And in my coloured scraps, I got this red, and I wanted it to be shiny. And I did this beforehand because I wanted it to dry before we started. And so I've just, I don't know if you can see that, or if I hold it to the window, perhaps you can. I've just coated it with a thin layer of glossy accents. I just put a blob through the middle, painted it evenly and let it dry. It does take a little while, which is why I did it ahead of time. Now, for that bit, it's going in the middle, and I'm just going to pop some double-sided, or you can use double-sided tape, you can use glue. I'm going to use a red runner tape, and I think this one's just about had it, but I think we'll get away with it. I've got 3 others in my drawer, so we'll be okay. Now, at this stage, it doesn't, that was almost this week's deliberate mistake, because before you put that down, you need a hook. Now this, oh, sorry, he couldn't see that. This is just a brass paper clip, which I took my wire cutters and I cut it in half, and I just bent that a little bit so that it's, well, actually I bent it because originally I was going to do it with clay, but that got a bit messy, so I decided not to. But just lay that down. On here, I've got some double-sided tape. So just lay that hook down there like that. In fact, that could come down just a little bit lower, as long as it's just sticking out the top. Yeah, that'll be fine. So we need that hook, or that loop. You need a loop, because we're making a bag charm or a keychain, whichever way you want to do it. We will need a loop at the top. And where you've put your adhesive, you just need to put your blob of red. And you'll see why we're using red. Once we put the next bit on, you'll probably be able to see what this is going to look like, or hopefully what it's going to look like when it's finished. Now, on the other one, as I showed you at the beginning of the video, we cut a heart shape out. Now, on the back, and I did this in advance so that you didn't have to sit there watching me cut things. This is just ordinary foam tape. No, it's not, it's foam pads, I beg your pardon. And I cut each one in half lengthways and just moulded them around, not quite the edge. We don't want them quite up to the edge because we don't want them showing once we put this together. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn this over, but you do need to make sure, the only thing, there's no definites in this one, well, apart from one. The only definite you need is that hook needs to be at the top and that heart needs to be in line with the hook. So we'll line it up. That's the only lining up you need to do. So we are going to press that down like that. And as you press that down at the top, especially at the top up here, that will also help to hold your hook into place. And as you can see, at least I hope you can see, it looks a little bit like a Jammy Dodger biscuit. But you could, if you don't like Jammy Dodgers, okay, obviously we can't eat this one, but you can make it look like an Oreo or a chocolate chip cookie. You can make this however you like. But if you'd like me to show you, or at least how I make them into different types of cookies or biscuits or anything else for that matter, drop me a comment and I'll see what I can do to accommodate you and make different ones, because I'm going to be making a selection of these anyway. So I will be doing a chocolate chip cookie one because I like chocolate chip cookies. And someone's asked me to do one that looks like a lemon drizzle cake. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but I'm sure we'll have a go. And obviously to make it into a keychain or a bag charm, you will need a chain. Now again, I'm still using my scraps. Now let me just bring this down so that you can see what I'm doing. This chain was from an old necklace. I've no idea where I got it from or how long I've had it. But when I looked at it, if I hold it up, it's not actually bad, but it's not something I would want to wear around my neck particularly. I'm sure other people would, but I don't. But there again, I don't wear much jewellery, so that's not really surprising. And all I've done is I've cut it down. Again, I use my wire cutters. And I've put a hook at one end. And I've put a key ring, one of those key ring, whatever they're called, rings, on the other end. And all we're going to do, and I just hook that on and looped that through like that. So it still goes through quite nicely. And all I'm going to do now is this hook, I'm going to press it in and hook it over. And there you go. You have either a keychain or a bag charm. And once you've done all the cutting and if you need to the colouring, you can put these together in a very short space of time. So if you sell your items, if you make your items to sell, you can die cut these and then batch make them. You can probably make them up in the evening while you're watching telly. And they wouldn't take very long at all. So there is your bag chain or keychain, bag charm or keychain, whatever you want to use it for. I'm actually going to clip this onto a bag because the other thing they're good for, we could have made the chain a bit shorter, but I quite like the long chains, especially if you've got a deep bag. The longer chains are quite nice. But what the other thing they're good for, you could make a shorter chain if you've got a friend or family member who perhaps isn't very dexterous. They've got problems with their dexterity. You could make one of these and clip it to a zip, perhaps a zip on a bag, and it would be easier for them to open the bag. So there's a variety of things you can use these for. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you have a go yourself. And now all the bits and pieces and the dramas and the extra work, well, there's always extra work to do, but now all the technical parts of my business of expanding it are over. I should, God willing, be able to be back to our usual schedule. So unless we have another disaster, which I desperately hope we won't, I will be back on Tuesday with another project for you. So until then, have a fantastic weekend. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Do have a go. They're great fun and they look fantastic on a bag. And I will see you Tuesday. Until then, take care, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.